All right, let's talk about something we all do, but almost none of us really understand: sleep. I mean, think about it. We spend a third of our entire lives completely out of it. So the big question is, why? What is all that time actually for? Well, we're about to dive in.
For the longest time, science was kind of scratching its head about this one. Sleep wasn't just, a habit we have. It was this huge, gaping mystery in biology. And the more you think about it, the weirder it gets. It's just bizarre. So the neuroscientist Matthew Walker, who wrote the book we're drawing from, puts it in this really wild way. Picture this. A doctor tells new parents, hey, just so you know, your baby is going to spend a third of its life in this state that looks a lot like a coma. Oh, and sometimes they'll have these crazy hallucinations. We have no idea why. Good luck. I mean, you'd be horrified, right? But that is a perfect description of sleep. It's so strange it feels like it has to be some kind of evolutionary mistake. And that really gets to the heart of the puzzle. Because from an evolutionary standpoint, sleep is a terrible idea. Just think about it. You're completely vulnerable, you can't get food, you can't procreate, you're basically a sitting duck for predators. So if sleep wasn't doing something unbelievably important, evolution would have gotten rid of it millions of years ago. The fact that every animal we've ever studied sleeps, well, that tells you its purpose is absolutely non-negotiable. Okay, so what is that all-important purpose? Well, it turns out one of the best ways to figure out why we need sleep is to see what happens when we don't get it. And let me tell you, the consequences are pretty devastating. Get this, the dangers of not sleeping are so real, so severe, that the Guinness Book of World Records actually removed the category for sleep deprivation. Just let that sink in. This is the organization that celebrates people doing the most extreme things imaginable, right? But staying awake for too long? They decided, nope, that's just too dangerous. That tells you everything you need to know about how vital sleep really is. So here's a perfect way to think about what's going on in your brain. All day, while you're awake, your brain is building up all this, well, metabolic junk. One of these is a nasty protein called amyloid, which you might know is linked to Alzheimer's. The source actually calls being awake a form of low-level brain damage. Yikes. But then, when you go to sleep, your brain turns on this amazing neurological sanitation system. It's literally a cleanup crew that sweeps out all those toxins, keeping your brain healthy. And the damage isn't just to your brain, not by a long shot. Just look at this number. After just one night of only 4 hours of sleep, you see a 70% drop in your natural killer cells. These are your immune system's elite assassins, the ones that hunt down and destroy cancer cells. 70% after one bad night. That's a massive hit to your body's defenses. And the fallout just keeps spreading through your whole body. For men, we're talking a nearly 30% lower sperm count. For women, a 20% drop in a crucial reproductive hormone. Your brain starts screaming for an extra 600 calories, and it's not craving salads, let me tell you. And yeah, beauty sleep, it's absolutely a real thing. People who are sleep deprived are consistently rated by others as looking less healthy, more tired, and just less attractive. Okay, so it's not all doom and gloom. It's not just about preventing bad stuff from happening. Sleep is also about actively making us better. While you think you're just checked out for the night, your brain is working hard. It's running a super productive night shift. Most of us probably think of deep sleep as the brain just being off, right? Totally quiet. But that couldn't be more wrong. Deep sleep is actually a time of really intense coordinated brain activity. This is when your brain basically becomes a master file clerk. It takes all the important memories from the day, which are in this kind of fragile short-term storage, and moves them to the safe long-term hard drive in your cortex. This locks in the memories and clears up space so you can learn new stuff tomorrow. It's brilliant. So what does that actually look like? Well, imagine you're trying to learn a new song on the piano. You practice and practice, but you just keep messing up this one tricky part. You go to bed feeling totally stuck, but overnight, while you're sleeping, your brain gets to work. It replays that exact motor sequence over and over, smoothing out all the kinks. And then you wake up the next morning and you can just play it. And that's not just a hypothetical. That's a real story from a pianist who told the author exactly that. This is what scientists call offline learning, and it proves that old saying is wrong. It's not practice makes perfect. It's practice plus sleep makes perfect. Your brain is putting in the reps for you, even after you've called it a day. And the coolest part? The whole process is incredibly smart. Brain scans actually show these bursts of activity, called sleep spindles,
happening right over the specific parts of the brain you use the most during the day. So it's like a good masseuse who knows exactly which muscles are sore and goes right to them. Your brain gives that extra TLC right where it's needed for learning and recovery.
So, what's the big takeaway here? It's that sleep isn't some optional luxury you can skip when you're busy. It is a fundamental, non-negotiable part of our biology. It's a right that we really need to start reclaiming for our health, for our minds, for our entire lives. Let's be honest, we live in a culture that kind of wears sleep deprivation like a badge of honor, right? I only got 4 hours last night. But the science is crystal clear. That's like bragging about how long you can hold your breath. It's just damaging. Sleep is a pillar of health, just as critical as what you eat or how much you exercise. It's trying to stop thinking of it as a weakness and start treating it like the superpower it is. In fact, the evidence is so powerful that scientists are actually pushing for doctors to start prescribing sleep. I mean, just think about that. Out of all the medicine and advice a doctor could give you, the best prescription might just be get 8 hours of sleep. It's probably the most effective, totally painless, and maybe even the most enjoyable medical advice you could ever follow. So that really leaves us with one final question for you. We all put so much time and energy into our diets and our workouts, right? But sleep? Sleep is the foundation that all of that is built on. It's what makes all your other healthy habits actually work. So I'll ask you, are you investing in your sleep the same way you invest in everything else? Because your brain and your body are really, really hoping you will.